Masterpiece Grimlock. Not a lot of complaints about Masterpiece Grimlock. He's one of the best masterpieces, one of the first masterpieces that were made too. But one thing always bothered me about Grimlock, and I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was until recently. His shoulders, in my opinion, are too high. Because if you look at the cartoon, or the comic books, his shoulders are pretty much level with his torso. They should be sitting about here, I think. And if you look at the G1 toy, it's the same. That's what everything is modeled after. So I'm not really sure why they went with this aggressive look. I think it's exclusive to the Masterpiece Grimlock toy that has these shoulders like that. You know, it looks pretty aggressive, I guess, but it also looks a bit kind of hunchback to me, and I don't know if I like it. It's all right, but in looking at the other third-party offerings, I don't really like any of those either. If I were going to stay with Grimlock, I would stay with this guy. I think what I'm actually going to do when I have the money is get the oversized knockoff in the comic book colors. But for now, this is my Grimlock, and I haven't done any modification to him, save for putting that sticker on the inside, which I had to kind of disassemble him to do. But anyways, I was trying to work out what to do with this guy. Maybe I could lower his shoulders. What would they look like if they were sitting down here? So I disassembled the torso, and more than I had to. I found out that all you have to do, if you want to change him, is remove one screw on each side. And that screw is right there. These arms are on a ball socket joint, and they just pop right off. And then all you have to do is remove this one screw. And this piece here can be removed. It is just pegged on there. You just gotta wiggle it because it's surrounded by this piece. And as you can see, it's keyed with one flat side so that it can't be rotated or moved around too much. So I was thinking, alright, how do I move this arm down? And just to test it out, this is kind of what it would look like. Let me take this one off too, so you can see. So in all the media appearances, I should say, his arms sit at about this level. Now, whether you like that or not, it's personal preference. I think it looks fine, but it got me thinking, how can we change it? So I thought, okay, this has to sit. This is on an angle. I could probably modify this, right? I could just cut that off if I wanted to have it any which way I choose. So what are the options here? We rotate it back 90 degrees. In this position, his arm is sitting farther back and a bit lower. And in fact, that's probably where I would be trying to get it to sit, at about that level. Moving it upside down, that would be too low, and it would be slightly forward. In this position here, it'd be way too far forward, no question about that. So that kind of just leaves us with back and down. And conveniently enough, the way to key these, you can accomplish that by just switching sides. So this is where they would be. And I think that looks alright, because up here, again, he looks like his head is just hidden by shoulders, you know. This is not how healthy people look. I guess it makes him look tough, but even posing him, when you try to pose him, his arms are over his head, and just looks like he's swinging around like a crazy monkey. So I thought I might prefer it this way. So that makes it easy. Then all you have to do is exchange these shoulder parts. Put them on like that. So that's how they line up. Now they're a bit farther back, but they are lower. So all you do is plug those back in, reinstall the screws. In fact, you don't even have to, and pop these shoulders back on. And there we have a Grimlock with a bit more conventional, so we say, looking shoulders. A bit more normal. And I think that looks pretty good. You know, it took me a while to get used to. I had him like this since yesterday, and I wasn't sure I liked it. At first, I just thought, no, it's all wrong. I've made a mistake. But now that I'm looking at it longer, I've gotten used to it. I like it. It looks a bit more G1-y. So here he is in robot mode, and it has a bit of a sacrifice for this, but I don't think it looks too bad. You can see that the legs sit a bit more forward in this position. The electronics still work fine, of course, because they're all contained within the leg. You can see the LED working its magic in there. I can't, let me show. So, LED still works, of course, because it's all there. So I'll just give it a few shots. Yeah, so they kind of just fit. The legs sit a bit more forward. Not too noticeable, really. I think if you weren't going to look side by side, you probably might not notice it. By the way, this is what's great about the Masterpiece. It's the same transformation. In fact, that's why I talked myself out of buying the Masterpiece Grimlock when I first saw him at Toys R Us. Because, you know, this was back when the whole concept of a Masterpiece Transformer was new. And I looked at it and I thought, are you kidding me? $80 for a Transformer that looks and transforms. Well, it's a nicer looking one, but it transforms the same way as the original. You're out of your mind. And, you know, I've been kicking myself in my own butt ever since for overlooking it. Anyway, so there we have him next to the G1, and so he's a bit more closely styled to that, right? He doesn't have, this guy's shoulders were never up over his head. You know, he may have appeared like that in a comic or two or something, I'm not really sure. The other thing that always bothered me about Grimlock, I wish these things would fold back. And they didn't even change that. I mean, look at this wrist. I know you can do this, but then what's he gonna? That blocks him from holding anything or doing anything except making a really wicked punch. But could they not have hinged these all the way back so they'd hide against his wrist? I would have really appreciated that, but they never did. Anyway, I think that's pretty good. Whether you think it looks good, well, that's up to you. This is going to be personal preference. You may love it or hate it, but it's an option. Just wanted to show it to you in case you wanted to try that out for yourself. So I mentioned the oversized versions of Masterpiece Grimlock earlier. I don't have one yet, but I can't imagine it not working. It's, you know, assuming the parts are the same, you could probably do the same modification for the oversized version. If and when I get one, I will confirm that. But for now, there's a little modification you can do for your Masterpiece Grimlock. So there's Grimlock Transfixed, and once again, thank you for watching. Why you have red visor? You Decepticon? You have red visor too. What? No, me don't. Blue visor. Autobot. How you do that? I guess me Decepticon. You get out of here, Decepticon. Stupid Dinobot.